Hi everyone,
Hello everyone.
welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Bibi Babatunde-Ikotun, and if this is your first time stopping by, you're welcome. I'm a faith, lifestyle, and motherhood content creator living in Ontario, Canada. Today I have a special guest here with me, my husband. Yay! So it's our 5th year anniversary. I can't believe we've been married for 5 years.
Yeah, 5 years.
Like the time went by really fast, didn't it?
It's going so fast.
So fast, like before we know it's gonna be 10 years.
10 years.
But anyways, I posted on my Instagram asking my followers to ask any questions that they have for us as we're celebrating 5 years, and we're going to provide answers to the best of our ability. Again, we're not giving life advice, this is just sharing our experiences, and if it blesses you, that's great. So here are some of the questions. I have it here on my iPad and I'm just going to get started. So question number 1: what was the first thing you said to Bibi to express interest? I guess like to express interest that you wanted me to be your girlfriend or your babe.
Did I say anything?
What do you mean did you say? So I just met you and I said yes, marry me.
Yeah, I just...
What?
Did I say anything? Did I ever say...
Wait, what? What are you talking about? So are you telling them that you never asked me to be your girlfriend or your babe?
No,
or...
I just, I think the most important thing is trying to align with your interest. It aligns with my own interest.
Okay, so you saw me and you're like, okay, our values align.
Values, yeah.
And yeah, it just made sense.
It made sense, yeah, and here you are.
Okay, I guess there was no first thing, like pick-up line or anything. Nah.
I'm, when you're blessed, you're blessed.
Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. Okay. All right, next question. Tell us how you knew you were meant to be a pastor.
That's interesting because if you grew up around church, firstly you hear other people tell you, and not to say that other people's validation indicators to where God is taking you to or God is calling you to, but sometimes when you have a call, people always see it around you, and sometimes you also have that inner weakness. You might deny it for a very long time, but when you look back in retrospect, you're able to see that actually I think I was walking in this, but I was just living in denial. So there's always that part of people telling you, and you also know that it's gonna play out like this. So over time, God just knows how to bring things to pass. Maybe with the association or the church, or things like that would always point that out. So I think that was it for me too.
Yeah, and if you're watching this and you have that inner witness but you're denying it,
accept it.
Like it's harder to keep fighting God's call and God's thing over your life. It's just hard.
And I think what people fight the most is the title.
Yeah.
And another thing is just because of the way our environment is set up, if you're set up in a church, you'll mostly be conditioned to be a pastor, but that's not always the case.
Yeah.
So it's a thing of, God has a call for you, but it's not necessary that you will serve as a pastor. Some, as you see, the fivefold ministry teachers, some evangelists, apostles, prophets. Yeah. So see where you fit into it, and sometimes it's not just fitting into that fivefold. It is that God is giving you a ministry specifically, to take care of certain things or to meet certain people. So those kind of things. So it's not good to be boxed into a particular place. So I just wanted to highlight that.
Yeah, and for me, I'm a pastor's kid, and if you're a pastor's kid, you're most likely going to be a pastor. Like
that's right.
That's just how God designed it. So I've just always worked on that part, denying it a little bit, but I've just always done for as long as I can remember. So I'm not saying all pastors' kids will be pastors, but the chances are really pretty high. So just yield to what God is asking you. Okay, so the next question is, how has parenthood changed both of your lives in marriage?
I think for me, it's just been a thing of being intentional in the sense that it has given me a responsibility for me to know that, I have someone to take care of, I have someone to look after. Just around someone, so I cannot just do anything I want to do. But when it comes to like how I live my life, I don't think anything has changed, because now my daughter takes my gamepad, and I love to watch movies. I still do all of those things. I try
when she's asleep or when she's at daycare.
Yeah, I try not to put so much pressure on myself. Like, oh, I'm a father. Nah, I don't think that's my style. I just like to leave things out and just enjoy every time that I have. So yeah, that's just me.
How has it impacted our marriage though?
I don't think outside of sleeping when you
doing what you want to do when you want to do.
No, you can no longer do
you
that.
have somebody that is your boss now.
Yeah, you can no longer do that. That I think that's just it. Like, you no longer have your time to yourself.
Your time is no longer yours. Yeah.
When you need to do things, and if you don't see it that way, you'll be troubled, in the sense that you think it's a bad thing because, oh, I really want to do this, but my daughter is not allowing me, or my son is not allowing me to do this. Then you start to see it as a problem.
Yeah, it's not.
It's just that everything in life, love, relationship, whatever it is, career, everything demands a responsibility. So I think that's just it. Owning it.
Yeah, and I think it's also time and season. Like, she would not be always completely dependent on us for the rest of our life. And we know that. We're aware of that. Like, I was even joking the other day that for our anniversary celebration, we can't even go for like a late night romantic dinner because we don't have like family. Like, my mom is in here, his mom is in here, our close friends that we would like to watch her, they're like 45 minutes away, so before we take her there, like, it's not just worth it.
I don't think we even like to go out very, very.
We're not honestly, we're not an outing person, outgoing people. Like, we're couch buddies, home buddies. So like, oh, we're going to go to Red Lobster for our celebration, and I mean, they have a high seat, so it's going to be 3 of us. So she's going to be part of everything that we're doing for now. And I mean, it's a joy. We're not seeing it as like, oh, we're missing out. Like, never. She's built into the fabric. She's not going to be this little forever. And we'll enjoy her as much as we can. All right. Someone said, how were you able to reignite the spark between you after having a kid? The spark never died. I
think for some people it does, because a lot of things come into play. Physical changes, emotional availability, and also it's just a lot to unpack in a very short time. And you're going from pregnancy to having a child to having to attend to your day-to-day life. It can be challenging for a lot of people, but I think that is where resting in God's peace comes, because we're so much under different things, pressure from work, pressure from friends, pressure from families for some people. But once you train yourself to rest, once you train yourself to always remind yourself of who you are, your identity in Christ, because your true identity is not, I'm a mother, I'm a father. Your true identity is in Christ. From that, we draw how to manage our relationships. We draw how to manage taking care of our children, taking care of every other thing from that identity. And we live from a place of rest. We do everything from a place of rest, and that is that rest, that peace is in Christ. So for me, there's nothing. There's no off day. No off day in Christ, and that is just how I say it. Just living from that perspective. It sounds easy, but the difficult part is having to train yourself to just stay. Once you get that rhythm right, having to just stay, having to enjoy, every single time, every single process. Oh, life becomes sweet. Your relationship becomes enjoyable. Why? You've learned to rest. So, but if you go into striving, you see posts, or people do this, people become this after. Those things are true. Life happens to people, but life is not meant to be dragging you or to be in control. You're meant to be in control because you are in Christ. So living from inside to the outside is the most important thing. So,
and I would say, like, he's been very good at like modeling that and leading with that. So even when I try to like veer away, like being able to see the way he's living his life and modeling, and like that just inspires me to like follow suit and not necessarily stress or feel like something is missing or lost or broken. All right, so I would ask one more question. I feel like we have to do part 2 because his time is limited. I'm borrowing him right now.
Maybe 2
more questions. Okay. So next one is, how do you both navigate financial responsibilities with being parents?
Jesus is the bank. Jesus is the bank. I think it's a lot different for different people, because also we're engrossed in ministry.
Yeah.
We have that's I think that's a huge part of our life, and for that it could mean different things to many people, especially if you're starting ministry. Huge part of your finances will go into it, because it's not ministry. A lot of people think ministry is making, getting money out of it. Someone was surprised, when we're talking over the phone. It was like, "Oh, how much did they pay you?" I said, "Pay." Who is paying you for you take care of all of these things. So having to see from that perspective that we have to outline certain things, to say, okay, this one is going into this one is going into that. There's no, oh, this one is your money and this one is my money. It is, because if that is the case, then we're not doing anything, because it's not going to work. But for some other people, it could work in the sense that they don't have that type of responsibility. For some, they just want to buy a house, and what they do is, we're putting this amount into this, we're getting this, we're doing that, and that's just how it works with them. But for us, it's just having to put everything, together to make certain things, work. It's not a 50-50. It's 100%.
Both ways,
Both ways, because everything must be done in that capacity for it to work.
And even like quick testimony, like before, I think when I got pregnant, and I didn't even know I got pregnant, I applied for, like, I didn't know I was pregnant then, and I'd applied for a new job, and that job, I mean, it was actually 2 different opportunities. One, I was gonna get like a 10-15% pay bump, and the other one was like 40% pay bump. I got the first job, and I was actually going to start at that job, and then this other opportunity came that was going to be a 40% pay bump, and I interviewed, and it was all a stressful period, and maybe I'll do a story time for that in a different video entirely. But like after I had signed the agreement, was it after? I think around the same period of like signing the agreement was when I found out I was pregnant, and to me I was just like, oh, that was God's way of kind of like providing for us, even as we're entering like a new season of our marriage and our relationship. And I've just been so thankful. There's that, God also being mindful of us. Like a lot of our time, commitment, income goes towards ministry, and we can just see God like being mindful of us in providing for us and opening doors of opportunities for us. So I'll just do one last question and see. I guess I'll just do a light one. What's the best gift I've ever given to you beside our child and myself, of course?
I can't really put it in that place, but I think I don't think it's tied to a particular thing. I just think you give so much, like you do so much, you do so much actually. So I think I'm not able to say, oh, this is the best thing. No, I think everything you just do is good. So
you're so sweet.
Yeah, that's how I see it.
You're so sweet.
So there's no specific thing.
Thank you. Well, I think we have to beg him. If you guys want him to come back for part 2, just leave in the comments, because there's so many other questions I would not be able to address today because he has to go back to work. I literally stole him. But if you watch up until this point, I want to say a big thank you to you for watching. If you have more questions, leave in the comment. We'll do a part 2 video sometime before the end of this year, and please beg him in the comments that he comes back, because he doesn't like things like this. But yeah, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button, like and share with a friend. Till next time, bye.